You always wanted to learn astrology, but just didn't know where to start. Maybe you feel a little overwhelmed when you're looking at a birth chart. Maybe it looks like a completely foreign language to you, and maybe you're a little scared. I'm Alexandra, I'm an astrologer, and this is my astrology club where I break down the basics of astrology for you so you can actually understand and read your own birth chart. Shall we get into it? A little backstory about me. I've been studying astrology since I was 13. More specifically, I've been studying birth charts since I was 18, but got into it when I was 13. And I have Tumblr to thank for that. I was on Tumblr in the 2012, 2014 era. And I remember reading about Pisces. My life was changed forever. I mean, I always knew I was a Pisces and I always resonated with it. I just felt like seen and understood for the first time, like reading about Pisces. Because I grew up with some drama and some family shit, you know what I'm saying? And so I never felt understood. And I always felt like I had to be something for the adults in my life. And I don't know, reading about astrology made me feel like held and seen for the first time ever. So that was exciting, and I've been hooked ever since. And then I went on to study the rest of the zodiac, and now I can easily pinpoint Aries if I see one from a mile away. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like it's such a beautiful thing for us to use, which I'll get into in a second. But anyway, let's talk about what astrology is not. Astrology is not an excuse for your behavior. It's not a crutch for you to fall on just because you are avoiding things or you're falling into patterns that you know need to be fixed. If anything, it's a tool for you to use to overcome these things in your life. It's also not something to heavily harp on. It's not something to strictly live your life by. It's merely a tool to enhance your life and feel more understood and feel more empowered about yourself and what's going on around you. I definitely will admit that I fell into rigidly following it when I first started studying like the transits and stuff. I was like, oh, I can't do this because Mars is squared Pluto today. But then I learned and I was like, you know what? This is just too exhausting for me. Now I don't even do that. I just kind of, if I feel called to it, if I'm feeling a kind of way, I will look into the astrology of the day and then I'll be like, oh, there it is. That's what I'm feeling. That's what astrology is for, more like, and just kind of using it as a guide rather than like a rigid set of rules and principles, you know? That's why I like it so much. I was raised Catholic, and so I kind of was always spiritual, I guess, and liked religion and all the things. When I was 13, I stopped following Catholicism because I was like, what do you mean there's a man in the sky dictating what I do is right or wrong? What? Huh? I also just never resonated with the scriptures at church, hated going to that. It was just so like regimented and rigid. There's a set of rules like you can't do this and you can't do that, and if you do this you're bad and you're going to hell. Good luck. Good luck. You can't live the way you want to or else you're going to hell. So sucks. No, that didn't really resonate with me, so I moved on. And I kind of just follow my own kind of spirituality practice now. I got really into meditating and astrology obviously and tarot, and now I'm into Reiki. I'm getting Reiki certified. I'm getting level 2 certified or tuned this weekend, which I'm so excited about. I definitely resonate with just there's something bigger than us out there, but I just don't know if it's a man in the sky dictating whether the way you live is correct or not. I think it's just a force. I definitely believe you have guides and like spirit guides and angels watching over you and loved ones that have passed that watch over you and take care of you from the beyond. So I don't know. I'm a Pisces. What do you expect? Of course, I believe in this. And I'm here to just kind of guide whoever else wants to get into this kind of thing because I think it's just so important to have something you believe in that's bigger than yourself and that you can place your hope in and the force, if you will, you know? I've gotten really into Star Wars lately, so that's what astrology is or is not. For my very beginner astrologers, or astrology enthusiasts, it doesn't have to be so rigid or structured. Like if you're coming from a Catholicism and so you're used to having something be right or wrong or you're damned basically, It's not like that. It's not that serious. It's much more nuanced and fluid and how you feel. And that's why I love it so much. We all go through phases and things and different areas of our lives, different phases and seasons of our lives. Astrology is about understanding yourself better and empowering yourself and living up to your potential. And it's about honoring and living the life that makes you feel happiest and like your most authentic self. Because everyone's different. Your birth chart is literally a map of who you are, and it's a guide to your life's purpose. It's your fate. It's like what you're meant to embody in this life. That's what your birth chart maps out for you. Isn't it crazy? Like the stars can show that for you. Blows me away every time. But anyway, that's what astrology is. It's meant to be a tool that empowers you and leads you towards a life of the most fulfillment. So let's get into the birth chart. I know it looks scary when you first look at it. You're looking at all of these foreign symbols and lines and in a big circle, and you're like, what the hell am I looking at? Understandably so. I'm confused too. Well, not anymore, but I used to be. It's overwhelming when you first look at it. You're like, I literally don't even know how to decipher this. So I'm going to break it down for you. So what you're looking at, the circle, is literally Earth. That's Earth. Okay, hello. And so you have different symbols. You have the planets, and then you have the zodiac signs. On the very outer rim of the circle are the zodiac signs, okay? And if you use astro.com, it literally tells you which zodiac signs are what sign or what symbol they are. So you can study that. You can study that over time. You're not meant to know all of this at once, you know? You can reference it as much as you need to until it's like locked in your noggin. Okay, that's all astrology is. It's a study. We are studying. And if you're really interested in it and you're really passionate about it, like I am, and like many other people are, it's like you study it and you study it and you study it until this knowledge is just like second nature to you. It's like you don't even have to think about it and you know it, you know? So those are the planets in astrology, and they symbolize different energy in our lives. And you have a sign for every planet in the sky. So your sun is your ego, it's your personality's conscious expression, it's how you get excited about life and what helps you shine. It's how you shine. Literally the sun in the sky. Hello. And then you have your moon sign, your moon, Venus, Mercury, Pluto, Mars, Uranus, and they all mean different things. And I will get into that in a separate video because it's just too much for this one. And each zodiac sign, they represent archetypes. They're who you are and I guess like little flares of personality. So that's first off the bat what you should understand about a birth chart. Next to understand about a birth chart are the lines that you see. You see red and blue signs depending on what, you know, chart system you're using, or like it's really just like calculator that you're using. I always use astro.com. It's the easiest to read for me. It's free. I know there's a lot of ads. There is a version you can buy without ads, but anyway, the lines that you see are aspects. And aspects are energies between the two planets. There are more harmonious aspects and there are more challenging and heavy aspects. Not impossible, you know, it's just all about life, you know. Sometimes you experience days that have more tension and irritabilities than others. And the tension and irritability is a square or an opposition, which I'll explain at a later date. And then if you look at the chart again, so we've covered the planets, the signs, and aspects. You might notice that there are different slots all around the little circle that you see, and you see numbers in the very center. Those are called the houses in a birth chart, and they are the how and where in a chart. And I find that they add so much more meaning to a chart than the signs do, because you can be a Virgo, but a seventh house Virgo is going to be way different than a 12th house Virgo. The houses just represent a more specific quality of that sign's expression, you know what I'm saying? And like where that planet is. Like you could be like sun in the seventh house versus sun in the 12th house is so different. And again, I will explain at a later date what the houses mean. And I also just want to say there is no good or bad in astrology. There is simply what is easier to work with, what's challenging, and what is more natural for you to access, you know? There's no good or bad. I know there's like a lot of people that say there are bad placements, and there's just not. I don't agree to that. There are planets that are happier in some signs more than others, and in time we will get into the certain planets rule over certain signs and which planet is best expressed in each sign kind of thing. That definitely exists, but that doesn't mean that it's bad, you know? And that's kind of all I want to get into in this first video because it's a lot to take in and I do not want to overwhelm. And I think this is a good little intro into who I am and what I like and don't like about astrology and what I believe astrology is. I'm very practical in my approach to spirituality. I know a lot of people are kind of, look, in this community, some people are a little bit more out there than others. I've been online on the spiritual internet for like the past 6 years. I had my spiritual awakening in 2019, honestly, when I was 20. I'm 27 now. I still feel like I'm 20. But anyway, I've seen it all. And I feel like some people are really preachy, their word is set in stone. And also like the vibrational things and high vibrations and low vibrations and all of the things. It's exhausting. It's like then you have to worry. Then it reminds me back to the Catholicism thing of like, oh, I'm doing this wrong, or like this feels wrong. I'm in a low vibration, so my manifestations can't come true. No, I don't. I don't agree to that either. I think there are phases of life, and sometimes you go up and down. You have dark phases of life so that you can bloom into the light, you know, and then you can honor the light, and then do all of the things that light calls for, you know. But what I'm trying to say is, I try to blend reality and my spirituality together, you know, like it can't always be la 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 manifesting. I'm in my highest vibration and I am receiving downloads and I am reading tarot cards every day. I'm meditating every day. It's not realistic. Everything comes in waves of energy. And you have to take care of your real life self sometimes. So that's what I believe in. My practice, the way that I study astrology and the way that I work with my clients is taking into account reality and using astrology in your real life and how to make it realistic for you and feel real for you. And that's what I want to spread on here. That's my goal. That's what I want to spread to you people out there. And that's what a birth chart is, okay? I can't think of anything else to cover, but I just wanted to go over like when you are just looking at a birth chart, like no prior knowledge to astrology, and you're like, huh, what the hell is this? That's what it is, okay? And then I plan to make more videos about what the hell it all means and how to tie it all together because I think everyone should have access to astrology. And I think it's really cute to have a little club where we can learn all about this. I want this to be accessible and I want everyone to know what it is. I'm so tired of coming across people who are like, oh, yeah, I've heard of it. I just don't know what it means. I just think it can be more accessible than it is, you know? And I trust that it will find the right people whose brains work the way that mine do and many other astrologers do. I hope you enjoyed this little intro to your birth chart and little intro about me and who I am and what I do and what I like about astrology. I will see you at the next club session. Bye.